let's go ahead and show you another feature. Let's go back to this box that I created a long time ago. All right. So that leads us to our next tool. That's called the fill tool. All right. I don't think I probably have to explain too much of what this does, but as you can see, it's the same color stuff, different opacities, right? And so let's say I want to make this pink. So what I would do is just touch that box and image and it makes it pink, right? And so maybe what I want to do is make it actually a little bit less that way, and then I might do the outside that way, right? And so you can kind of choose how you want to do that. Now, what it all is now, when I go to the hand tool, it's now, it looks like one image. It's grouped together. It's grouped together. So look, I had some white in there. Some text I brought in from earlier. So there, that is that. All right, fill tool. Got it. Oh, I didn't cut it. All right, you can actually do this with images as well. Let's try it. Let's bring in this little image. So I could actually try to fill in that, which looks like a cool Euro court. So you could do it with image as well. It doesn't have to just be with hand-drawn shapes. What does happen is if you see you can't change the background color that way, you would have to go into your slide sorter and then pick your colors this way. That's how you would change your background. I'm going to leave it as white for now. Let's go ahead and move that way. Let's see. Another way, if you want to change, because with the background there, what you have to do is do all or nothing. What you could also do is actually put just a giant shape of something. And then make it bigger than your part. And then what you could do with the inspector tool, which we'll get into a little later, is send it to the back. And then you can have a background of just that slide as that shape as well. So that is the fill tool. All right, let's play with the shape tool. We'll start fresh. The shape tool is this next one. So we have a few different options. You can see these two parallel lines. What that actually just does, and it's been on other shapes, it actually just closes that little box. But if I click the next one down, as you can see, there's the three dots, the ellipses, and that gives you kind of the options. So it's showing you I could do some sort of a couple different shapes. I got it's rectangular, this is soft rounded edges, circle, lines, arrows, right, and stars. So let's just add a box here. Right, and that's what it looks at. Now, here's some other cool things that you can see there is there's also this, which is a freehand shape tool, which so essentially you freehand draw it in, and then if it matches a shape, it'll just essentially correct it. So, for example, it changed that into that. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's one way to use it. I generally either do one or the other. I usually freehand or I just use the shape tool, but that is a possibility. This next thing here allows you to add back shadow. So let me just erase some of this stuff for now. Okay, so with the shadow, if I turn that off and I make a shape, see how it doesn't have the little shadow underneath it? So you could choose if you want to use that. It depends on just the look you're going for. Next is the border width. Really small, really big. I just see how it's a little bit bigger border there. And I'm going to turn the shadow back on. I like the shadow. All right. And so we have that going on there, as well as your color tool, just like any other color. any other way you'd be using colors, right? So it's all about the fill and the border. You can change the opacity, right? The transparency. You could do that. Let's make the fill there, the border. All right, so let me show you kind of a cool example of maybe if I was trying to do some sort of a explanation of solid versus gas, right? So here I have two containers that are very similar looking. What I'm going to do using some features that we've already had is I'm going to bring in kind of a blue. Let's do a custom blue. I want it to be like a water. So I'm going to show us some liquid. So I can touch that. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go and just say here we have water here. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the fill tool. And there I have it in there that way. All right. And now that would be a liquid. So, all right. Now this one though is going to be a gas. All right. And let's say I want to use, to represent gas, I'm going to use some sort of a circular shape. And I want him to be a different color. So let's go ahead and do black border, green fill. Cool. And I'm going to take off the shadow. So what I'm going to do, all right, I'm going to add more of those. So see how I'm kind of, what I could do, which I haven't shown you how to do yet, is I could also duplicate it. But for now, I'm just going to use the tools that we're kind of we know how to use, and just making these kind of shapes here. I'm going to do one more. Let's call it a gas molecule. I don't like this one though. It looks kind of funny. There we go. But I also got rid of my box, which was not good. So let's actually drag it out. Let me make sure I don't get rid of my box. Click it. There we go. All right. So maybe what I'm doing then as a video, and I'm going to long hold that. Actually, mixed mode is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I don't need any audio. I'm just going to have it do a demonstration, right? So I'm going to show, right? And I want to show essentially these bouncing off of things. Right, it's gas. All right, now what I can do is I can go back on my timeline. And now I can do the same thing, but this time I'm going to choose a different one. Right, it's kind of hard zigging and zagging, but that's all right. But what I'm starting to show though is now these different molecules doing kind of different things, right? I'm showing what gas is. And now let's do one more, since I have one more that's not moving. Maybe I want them to start there even. All right. Messed up there. Let's go back there. All right. All right, so now when I watch my video that I quickly and hastily made, let's get rid of our timeline. All right, it's showing me the different, giving a good explanation of liquid versus gas, right, or at least some sort of a model. So that's a good example of using shape tools as well as your timeline and recording video to do that. So, all right, cool.